Hey there, Shooby-Doodlers, and how are you doing, particularly in this world of AI? I think I keep hearing and seeing artists, creative people, particularly artists, visual artists. Let's talk about visual artists. This kind of despair with AI. What is the point? I think this is something I've been grappling with maybe a lot longer than most, because I've been interested in AI and its potential for a very long time, because that's the kind of person I am. And I've seen what is coming for a very long time. And so these AI models that can just produce incredible images by just talking to them have come as quite a shock to many visual artists who have just been quietly painting away, getting on with it, and have turned around and gone, oh! Whereas I've seen it coming. I've been going through this process, and I've come to realise what it is grief. It's a loss. It's a loss of something. It was a loss of a certainty that you kind of felt was there, that the artist meant something, and that the art you were creating meant something, and you had a purpose in life. And now suddenly a mathematical model can come along and poof, do what you do, or appear to do what you do. And I have been really quite depressed by all of this. And when you look back through the videos I've been making for the past 5 at least years or something like that, you can see they've been dropping off. You can see they're becoming a bit random, a bit incoherent. And yes, I put this down to grief. And grief is an extraordinarily powerful emotion that just takes you over. And you can't think straight. And you could lose your identity, because it's a passing of something. It's something that's gone, and it's that certainty that was there in your everyday life has gone, and you don't know what to do. And the saying is, this too will pass, grief will pass, and things will get better. And for me, I think it has got better, because I've kept asking, and I've kept thinking, and I've kept looking and trying to work this out. I set out as a children's illustrator kind of about 40 years ago now. And one of my lecturers at college, Colin McNaughton, was a children's illustrator. He told me this is how the business works. And he said, do this. He was right, and I'm very thankful to him for setting me on the road. And along the way, various people have then said, and then there's this, and then there's this. So it's not just drawing. There was the business, there was everything else like that. But, at the heart of it all, there's this, you've got to be creative. You've got to actually make the images. And over that career, the whole business structure just kind of crumbled and made it not worth putting the effort in anymore. And like an amoeba sort of bumps into the wall, goes, oh, I'll move this way instead. That's kind of what I did. And I think it is this kind of evolutionary progress of art, creativity. Art is such a big, preposterous word, but art is what we do. We make things. Some are sculptors, some are video makers, some are whatever. I do a little bit of everything. But basically, as an illustrator, I'm a visual artist. And in that, I've become quite a figurative sort of artist. It's people that interest me in their shapes and drawing people, which I hated when I started. And it's something that is something that has evolved. And now I know I can go to ChatGPT or Nano Banana or whatever and just type in, can you do an illustration like this in the style of, and it'll come up with something very beautiful. So what's the point? I'm at the beginnings of a kind of a theory that makes sense to me, and I suppose this video is me starting to try and explain it. And I have to explain it again and again and again to myself to begin to understand it, to try and really see how it works. I've come up with this idea that works for me called commonwealth. It's a bit tricky because it gets confused with the Commonwealth, which is like the successor to the British Empire, which is all those old countries from the British Empire which are still kind of friendly and we meet and talk and do trade and whatever. So I don't mean that. I don't mean the Commonwealth, one word. I mean Commonwealth, two words. And what is the Commonwealth? I think it's actually the culture. So we have two things. There's common ground and common wealth. So common ground is where we come together. So if you take a library, that's a place you can come and meet. It's a physical kind of place. And within that building is the culture. It's in the books, and that is the commonwealth. And when we go into a library, it's all there for us, and we can plunder it and do whatever we like with it. But I think as an artist, you have a responsibility to add to it. And this is very messy, this description I'm coming up with, because it's right at the beginning of my thinking. If you take Newton, who said if he saw further, it's because he stood on the shoulders of giants. That immediately makes you think he stood on the shoulders of Galileo and Copernicus and these great, great men, people. And that gives us a theory of the great person. But Newton didn't just stand on the shoulders of those great people. He stood on the teachers of those great people. He stood on... I've looked into Newton quite a lot and his history. He had all sorts of... His upbringing, his little dame school teacher and the environment that he was in allowed him to become who he was. And he was still a pretty grumpy old guy. But on top of him, on top of everything that he learned, then others have built their reputations and the knowledge and added to the culture. But those people, the shoulders that they sit on, are also their teachers, the artists who sustain their inner life, the musicians, the composers, whatever, who've given them that inside thing that has kept them going. So even the teacher who feels, I'm teaching art and what is the worth of this? I'm not, I want to be a great artist. The teacher, their contribution, what they're giving back is the pupil who goes on to become a great person or becomes the teacher again of another teacher who eventually becomes the teacher of Newton. It's a giving back, it's a growing. So I'm beginning to see the culture as like a fertile valley, and an artist, and you're born into this. It's there. So you have a choice. You either plunder it, which is, there's a lot going on. So in the ecology of the world, there's an awful lot of plunder going on and not being put back. And in culture, it's all there. It's like this beautiful, fertile valley. And you have a choice. You either go in and plunder it and take what you can and do whatever, or you go in and you tend it as a steward, and you make sure that when the gate falls off its hinges, you go and fix it. And to give back, you have to go and find that little piece of ground that's infertile at the moment and work it and just give back and just grow the whole ecosystem. By giving back, it might just be that you're keeping everything beautiful at the moment and allowing people the time and the space to go and find that little bit of infertile ground and bring it into the whole ecosystem of the valley. But it all has to keep going, and all the people who are keeping the beauty and the productivity of the valley are as equally important. And so, in a world of AI where you are thinking, oh my God, what's the point? The point is that you are a human being and you are living in this fantastic, beautiful, fertile valley, and it's just glorious and it's wonderful. And when I say that, I mean the books, I mean the culture, the films, the gardens, the beautiful buildings, whatever. It's all around us. Everything is there. It's the culture. Nature is part of the culture too, so the flowers and the bees and the birds and everything else that is going on. That is the culture, and that is there for you to draw on. That is our common wealth. And as an artist, you can draw on that, mix it all up, and it's like creating new compost for new things to grow. You're working with it, creates compost. And while you're doing it, your little ideas are seeds which drop into this compost. And they're new ideas that grow and flower to make this beautiful, fertile valley even more beautiful and even more fertile. And AI can't do that. AI can give you a digital representation like SimCity. It's a simulation. AI is a simulation. And as an artist, forget about AI. It's not real. It's about what you're doing. It's about what you are contributing to the Commonwealth. AI is contributing. It's because the people who invented it, they're part of the common culture in the Commonwealth too, and they are contributing. AI is part of that contribution. AI might just be there to make you see things differently and to put ideas into your head to increase the fertility. But the secret is to show up day after day and not get depressed. Show up day after day and work at it. Work at building the structure, building the compost, putting the ideas in, having the ideas, building them, growing. That is the role of the artist. And AI has nothing to do with it. Forget about it. So then comes the problem of how are you going to afford to do this? Well, most people are quite happy doing what they do and doing a little bit of art on the side. That's fair enough. Some people are more driven and want to do it every day, and to be able to do it every day, then you have to eat. So there will come systems that will allow artists to do that. It just will happen. And you might have to, and artists have always lived in garrets and eaten crusts of bread to get to where they eventually go. And it is a hard road to be an artist, which is why most people prefer to get a day job and cheer on from the sidelines and do their own thing quietly on the sidelines. It's the same with 100-metre runners. A lot of people would love to run fast. There's only one Usain Bolt. and all those people who would love to do it, who have tried the 100 metres, they end up on the side cheering Usain Bolt along. So there are only so many people who are that driven that they are going to dedicate their lives to it. But in dedicating their lives to it, somehow a way will be found to look after them. That's what I think. So my message today is show up, do the work, and I'll do the same. And I'll keep thinking about it because I feel that part of my role is to keep thinking about it. And I suppose I've sort of moved into the world of philosophy a bit. And I hope you'll want me to keep doing that, and I hope you'll just keep supporting me just by watching these videos, and there'll be adverts and stuff around that, and that'll help a little bit. Not much. But if you do want me to carry on doing this stuff, make sure you're subscribed, because that's part of the feedback. You know, there's a little bit of compost making that you can do, that you can help to sort of fertilise this idea of mine, and sort of bung a bit of fertiliser on, and that'll keep me going. There's a lot of mixed metaphors in there. I've done a lot of thinking, but I'm really at the start of trying to clarify all these ideas and make them a little bit easier to understand. But if you've understood something today that's helped you, let me know in the comments box below, or you can go to my website, use my contact page. If you want to be, don't want everybody to know what you're thinking. And yeah, let me know what you're thinking. In the meantime, show up. Keep drawing, and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.